Okay, so we're here with Micheal Hope, who runs the Toolchain working group at Linaro. Micheal, tell us a bit about your background, where you're from, what you worked on before coming to Linaro.
Yep. Joined up with Linaro about a year and a half ago now, shortly after it was announced. In fact, I think I was interviewed and accepted the day after the publicity came out.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Previously, before that, a whole range of things. I've been involved in open source since university time, working on compilers and everything low level. Historically, before Linaro, various control-related software, which is interesting from a quality and a testing point of view, because a lot of that applies to compilers as well. They have to be solid.
Right. So one of the things that the Toolchain working group is working on, has started working on now, is this KVM card that we've put up, right? So I want to ask you some questions about KVM on ARM in general, but first let's talk about KVM in general. What is KVM useful for?
Yep. So virtualization is very popular these days. The idea behind virtualization is you throw away a little bit in performance, but to trade off with that, you can get much better utilization out of your boards. So instead of having a chip there running a web server being idle most of the time, you run 5 web servers or a web server in a database or who knows what else on there and get better utilization out of it.
Right.
So KVM's the best way of doing that in Linux.
So how does KVM work in Linux itself? Like what's the user experience for it?
Yep, it's a mixture. The kernel part of it, which is K and K in KVM, uses hardware virtualization.
Mm-hmm.
So you run QEMU. QEMU does things like your disk drive and your network and everything else.
Yeah.
And all of the heavy lifting where the instructions actually happen get passed off to the KVM part of the kernel.
Which uses hypervisor mode, and is that right?
And the hardware virtualization that you use on the A15 and the A7.
Right.
So if you're an end user actually sitting down, you'll have everything installed. It'll be on your Versatile Express or other A15 hardware that's coming along.
Yeah. You
start up QEMU, it boots into Linux and passes off the actual instruction stream to the hardware virtualization into the kernel.
Okay. So what's special about KVM on ARM? What do we have to do there to make KVM ready for ARM?
It's a new topic for ARM. It's fairly well established in general. This has been done on x86 before, and a lot of the technologies have as well. But
only x86? Does any other platform have it as well?
There's PowerPC. I believe MIPS has it as well. I'm afraid I don't know the details.
Okay.
And in terms of the work that we have to do, it's all of this integration. So it needs to have support out in the kernel, which has been done by Columbia University. It needs the proper A15 support. And it needs the changes that we're especially doing in the Toolchain group to QEMU. And there's all the integration across Linaro. I want to have a 1.0 quality product with everything in it, all the components that a Fedora or Ubuntu or a Red Hat need to be able to pick this up, sell it, support end users.
So tell me more technically about the KVM on ARM piece there. So what do we change in the kernel? What do we have to change in QEMU to actually get the job done?
Yep. So in QEMU, the first step is a A15 model, so that you can boot an A15 kernel, because that's where the virtualization is. In the kernel side is the interface between QEMU and the kernel itself, and all the support for the virtualized hardware, like they have a virtualized interrupt controller, virtualized timers, the actual hardware support for running the instruction stream, and making use of the LPE support to map between the guest's physical address space into the actual host physical address space.
Right, so you can use LPE as sort of a piece of infrastructure that you use in virtualization.
Yeah, it's the intermediate, so it's the 3-level translation. You steal that middle, second level of translation, and that does show a virtualized memory for you.
Right, and on the QEMU side?
The QEMU side is, the major thing is going to be performance. We've done various correctness work. Now you can actually boot QEMU on an ARM host and run it in the slower emulation mode, but it's going to be about performance. So having Virto support, mapping that through to the file system, to the network interfaces. In the future, there'll be things as well like supporting the virtualization that some advanced network cards have.
Right. So if I want to try out KVM for ARM, is there something I can pick up now?
Yes, but no. There's hardware still coming along.
Yeah.
There's a product called Fast Models made by ARM. There's an evaluation available on your website. You can start that up. We have instructions on our wiki for then how to get the appropriate kernels, file systems, QEMUs, and mix it all together. And you can start up a host, start up a guest inside it, and give it a try.
All right.
Faster machine is good.
All right, Micheal, thanks a lot, man. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.